Hi everyone, welcome to the first annual Girls Talk hosted by the Champions Club for Girls at the Boys and Girls Club Metro Atlanta. My name is Malia Baker. You might know me from the Babysitters Club on Netflix, where I play a shy but empowered young girl named Marianne. And next year you'll be able to see me on Are You Afraid of the Dark on Nickelodeon. I'm so excited and honored to be here with you. Our theme for this event is self-love. I think a topic that is very much needed in 2020 with all that's been happening. So often we put ourselves on hold to care for others, our community, our family, our friends, and our world at large. And while that is amazing, we must begin to take care of ourselves so that we can continue to be there for others, and also so we can reach our own personal dreams while still feeling happy, healthy, and strong. I define self-love as accepting yourself as you, not as the societal construct they've placed for you, not as your own crazy, unrealistic expectations, but loving you as you, flaws and all. It means to me taking care of yourself for you, not because you're trying to look a certain way for someone else, or not because someone else is telling you to look a certain way. Self-love is such a hard thing to have and maintain through all of life's struggles. There was a study done by Dr. Maseru that showed what telling water positive affirmations and telling water negative affirmations did. And the water that was being told the positive affirmations showed them in a really pretty form of a snowflake, and the water that was being told the negative things were all over the place and distraught. We humans are made of about 70% water, and our water reacts the same way that the water in the experiment did, meaning that when we tell ourselves things like, "You're not worthy," or "I hate you," we will react in the same way the water in the experiment did. But when we tell ourselves, "You're beautiful and you are worthy," we will be our own little snowflakes. Inside and out. Beauty is such a subjective thing, but we've been told our whole lives that there's only one way to be beautiful, which isn't true, and I feel like we forget that sometimes. So as a reminder, tell yourself that you're beautiful, you are worthy, you are strong, and you are your own little pretty snowflake. My self-care regimen looks like and makes me feel loved, cared for, strong, and control of my own being, body, and emotions. Everyone's self-care routine looks different, but here's mine. I love to journal and try to do so as much as possible, but it can be a little hard trying to find the time when you're also super busy. So I sometimes just write myself a quick positive note. I try to take at least 5 minutes of my day to listen to some music that makes me feel good and pumps me up for the day to start, because I know that's how I pick myself up. But again, everyone is different. I also started writing down some affirmations on sticky notes and putting them all over my room in places that I know I would see them. I love going outside to get fresh air, but like I said before, it is hard to find the time to when you're also super busy. I've learned that I don't need to do crazy amounts like 5 hours outside. And if I'm able to give myself 10 minutes, then I've already helped myself out. The same goes for working out. I don't need to work my body to the point of being sore for me to have done enough for me. Part of my self-care is recognizing we all have limits and celebrating even the small things that I've managed, whether that's getting through my homework, finding time to write, or doing my skincare routine. I leaned into my truth. It was a long period, but I did it. And I find that it's really hard to, especially when you're a very shy and extremely anxious kid like I was. I'm still an anxious person because anxiety is something that I deal with on a daily basis, but I found a way to find my truth while dealing with life as well. I would be anxious to even speak and have my own opinions. I feel like a lot of kids and even adults can relate. Being unapologetically myself is something I've spent a lot of time trying to learn and do. I think I learned how to step into my truth by taking tiny steps at a time. For me, the first steps looked like discovering outlets to express myself, whether that was expressing myself creatively with painting, music, dance, or writing, or whether that was wearing my hair out big and proud. I needed to find a way to get my honest voice out there. And not the voice that society was telling me to be, or not the voice that my peers were telling me to be, such as being good meant staying silent, or when asked how I am, I say I'm fine, even though that may not be necessarily true. Leaning into our truths is an ongoing process, but this is a reminder to speak and act out our truth, even if our voice and our knees shake. Making sure that your voice is heard and validated. I feel like saying speak up is a waste of time because you can be loud and unheard at the exact same time. I don't think there's a guarantee that your voice will be heard, quite honestly, but there is a guarantee that you can keep trying and you keep going. I try to use my voice as much as possible on social media, in person, or even on a call. In settings like school, home, and friends, I try to speak up and express myself. You're not in control of your voice. You're not in control if your voice is validated or not. And I know for my fellow perfectionists and people pleasers out there, it is really hard to hear that and even harder to gain control of. But you just breathe with me. All you can do is articulate your thoughts and feelings in the best of your ability and be confident in your body and in your knowledge. I have 3 self-love and expression standards that I live by. First, it's okay to take care of yourself before others. Fellow empaths, I know this is also really hard to hear and really hard to understand and do, because I'm still working towards it myself. I feel like it's something that we all should have in our mind from time to time, and work towards constantly. Set boundaries and maintain them is the second one. The third one is pick the right friends. Surrounding yourself with the right people is so important because it not only makes you feel good, but you're able to authentically be yourself too, which if you're with the right people, you'll be able to do so and they'll love it. There was a time in the 4th grade where my self-expression and self-love was extremely challenged. I ended up in a wheelchair as a result of my physical body taking on all that I was feeling and my inability to express myself at that time. It was a drastic lesson in self-love and self-expressions. What got me through was focusing on my strengths that I knew were inside of me, but I didn't quite believe. Like, I knew I was strong and determined and able, but for so long I'd stopped myself from speaking my truth out of fear of being judged, fear of letting others down, fear of not being enough. And I beat myself up for that, allowing negative thoughts to define me. Through the support and encouragement of some amazing women in my life, I started to practice certain things that made me believe in myself again. I practiced positive talk, affirmations, a lot, as well as many steps. I told myself repeatedly that this was only temporary, that I could get past this, and that I tried little things every day to improve my condition. Over time, my whole self started to believe that I was telling it, and I was out of my wheelchair and equipped with a whole bunch of ways to cope with anything life threw at me. Most importantly, I think, stating how I was feeling and figuring out what I needed for me and speaking that out loud. No longer was I going to make myself so small and try and not make anyone upset that I put my own health and happiness at risk. Everyone is different. So what works for me, English can be really hard sometimes, you guys. So what works for me could not work for you, and that's totally understandable and okay. What matters is finding a way for us all to be uniquely love ourselves as ourselves and to spread the love and kindness around by supporting each other just as we are. My hope is for all of us girls to accept the girl next to us just as she is, instead of finding flaws and faults and lift her up, because we have enough in the world that we are fighting against. We don't need to fight each other. We need each other because we need each other to rise. I'm beyond excited for this Girls Talk event and believe each of you, us, will take away with exactly what we need from today. Thank you so much for having me, and I'll hopefully see you guys soon over Zoom or on your tellies. Bye.